Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of July 30th, 2023. I host monthly new moon intention setting workshops. The next one is on Sunday, August 13th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, and we will discuss all things about the Leo new moon. I hope to see you there. You can go to the link in the show notes or my website, astrologybyceleste.com, to reserve your spot. We will talk all about the lunation and key features of the astrology chart of the new moon, what it means for you, as well as what we may see in the collective. And then I do as many hot take chart readings as I can, and you will get a workbook to help you move through the lunation. For an astrology in action story, I've talked about it the last couple of weeks with Venus retrograde in Leo, one of the biggest transits of the year, went retrograde at 28 degrees of Leo, making that a hot degree opposite Kamala Harris's Saturn in Aquarius. And Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, is a Libra. So Venus rules her sun. So for Libras and Tauruses, when Venus goes retrograde, it has an even deeper impact for us. And the story is that in Florida, the Department of Education there has issued new guidance or new textbooks or something that talk about how slavery was beneficial to slaves in some instances because it gave them new skills or marketable skills or some kind of nonsense like that. It is absolutely outrageous. People need to wake up and pay attention to what is going on in these places of the United States. And for the first time in her vice presidency, she is getting positive press because she stood up and gave an impassioned speech about how this was wrong and that we're not going to be gaslit by these people. Venus went retrograde quincunx Neptune, gaslighting people, Neptune, about a financial system of money making. Venus retrograde from the past that subjugated and brutalized people. The quincunx on the other side was Pluto. So, yeah, trying to rewrite history about slavery, which was a financial big source of wealth for the United States, which brings it to Venus. And her Saturn in Aquarius, she showed leadership and standing up for, the collective descendants of slavery. And yeah, so she's getting some positive press. She gave the speech on Friday, the day before Venus went retrograde. The theme of this week is balance of power, and there are three things I want you to think about as you move through the week. The first is that Venus retrograde is moving very slowly. It's still at the top of the yod with Pluto and Capricorn on one side and Neptune and Pisces on the other side. When a planet goes retrograde, the topics it rules get wonky and there's reversals and delays and all sorts of things. So one of the things that's happening, and it's in effect all week, is that Saturn in Pisces, Saturn, the planet of consequences, karma, hardship. Saturn takes away from life. Saturn also is associated with, the elderly, is opposite the asteroid Hebe, which is the Greek goddess of youth who granted mortals eternal youth. When it's activated, it can be something about, emotionally mature people, juvenile behavior, or plastic surgery, people doing actions that are youth-seeking. And so with the opposition to Saturn, notice if we see in the collective, the young and the old in conflict, or if at the full moon someone comes to our attention whose face looks really botched from unsuccessful plastic surgery. Now, a lot of the actors are going to be getting plastic surgery this summer while the actors' strike is going on. So someone could be going under the knife this week and the results not looking so great. Yeah, so I do recommend you not make beauty changes this week, even just like trying new products. I saw on Instagram a friend, like on the day Venus went retrograde, posted about trying some new moisturizer or something, and then they broke out in pimples. So yeah, it's best just to not make any changes or do anything unnecessary about your beauty. I almost went to a new pedicure place the day after Venus went retrograde, and it's like, oh no, I'm not going in there and having them cut my foot and me having getting some kind of infection. Venus went retrograde, squaring my Neptune in Scorpio, which could be a beauty treatment, bring some kind of infection or other type of hardship. So I got right in my car and went right on home, and I'll go to my regular place. The next thing I want to make you aware of is that the Sun in Leo is parallel Uranus and Taurus for most of the week. So the Sun spotlights things. The Sun is related to leadership as well as celebrity, and parallel Uranus. This could be something shocking like a face looking really jacked or something like that. But it also, as I'm taping this, the people in Israel are in the streets about changes to the judiciary, which they feel will erode democracy, and they're marching from one city to the other. I'm recording this the day Mercury is squaring Uranus, and you can listen to last week. Think about everything that's been going on in Israel this week. I wonder if there's going to be violence. It'll be last week when you're listening to it. And it was called the Reasonableness Bill. And the South Node in Libra really speaks to like South Node Adrain trying to take away fairness because Benjamin Netanyahu's government wants to limit the ability of the judiciary to declare government decisions unreasonable. So there's this spotlight on disruption. You have removal of fairness and balance. And I've talked about, I think that UPS will, in fact, go on strike. We shall see. But really notice this week when you see disruptions and see what happens in Israel. It may be a big story about what is going on there that starts to like capture more and more of the world's attention. Of course, there also could be natural disasters. There are fires raging everywhere. In Greece, there are fires raging. So Sun, Uranus, like catastrophic, unexpected things happening related to climate change, Uranus and Taurus, or, the Earth is very possible. Sun in Leo, it could just be about fires. The Canadian fires are just raging nonstop as well. The last thing I want to make you aware of is that on Tuesday, there'll be a full moon at 9 degrees of Aquarius, where the Sun is in Leo opposite the moon in Aquarius. And the Sun rules leaders, royalty, authority, and Aquarius rules the people and the collective. I think we will see a lot of conflict this week between, the boss and the leader and the common people or the employees, the leader versus the people. The Sun is parallel the asteroid Astraea, which is an asteroid associated with justice and idealism. So I think probably what's going on in Israel will continue to be a big story at the full moon. This full moon has so many aspects. Mars, the planet of action, drive, conflict, assertion, is trine Jupiter in Taurus. Mars is in Virgo, Jupiter's in Taurus. This can be associated with like severing some of the wealth if UPS does in fact go on strike. It also can be about conflict in Israel, about these judicial changes they're trying to make. Jupiter is associated with justice and judges and all of that. And Mars is in what's called a hammer of Thor, which is So Mars is sesqui-square both Pluto and Capricorn and the North Node in Aries. And the North Node and Pluto are squaring each other. So think about what Thor did with his hammer. He took that hammer and he knocked the top off of mountains. So this is, one of these triangle formations with Mars at the apex. It is intense energy of conflict is what I think it is. I mean, it could just be about massive fires. Mars has, associations with fire and Aries and Pluto. This is like a really, really intense energy where people may be really motivated for fight for what they believe is fair and just, and for groups of people with Aquarius. Now, Mercury in Virgo is opposite Saturn in Pisces. So Mercury opposite Saturn can be like getting like cold, hard news, or I think this is about the UPS strike where Mercury rules commerce and communication in the sign of Virgo and Earth sign. UPS is the United Parcel Service is such a Virgo entity where it gets packages to places efficiently and quickly. Going on strike, Saturn in Pisces, one of the things that will be impacting people, they can't get their medicines. But Mercury's really strong because it's in domicile, and Saturn is got no dignity. So the hard fist of the authority is weakened during this lunation. Mercury opposite Saturn can also be someone speaking with real cruel clarity to someone, like just saying something really vicious and mean. Or it can be, someone standing up there and being very concise and clear and speaking precisely about why they're doing what they're doing. So this could be a really powerful full moon. Hopefully there won't be a lot of violence or anything, but I think we'll be seeing a lot of people striking this week. Sun parallel Uranus. Uranus also rules strikes. The moon phase family associated with this lunation, where there's a story that starts around the new moon and then there are pivot points every 9 months. It's a 27-month cycle. So there was a new moon on January 31st of 2022 where both the sun and the moon were at 12 Aquarius. So think about what was seated in your life at that time. October 31st of 2022, the sun in Scorpio, the moon in Aquarius. This was eclipse season. They were both at 8 degrees. So think about if there is a story in your life that relates at that time. And the sun in Leo and the moon in Aquarius are both at 9 degrees on August 1st. So all is illuminated. So think about if there were pivot points, and you can look at your chart and see what house does Aquarius rule, because you've gotten these activations again and again there. And you give 2 weeks on either side of the dates. And the story may have a conclusion or another pivot point next May 1st, where the sun is in Taurus and the moon is in Aquarius on May 1st of 2024 at 11 degrees of the respective signs. On Sunday, the word of the day is realism. So as we start the week, the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn is a very realistic, practical, grounded sign. It wants to be of use. So you may feel a little serious or, the moon is a detriment in Capricorn. It doesn't like that soft, gushy, emotional body, does not like to be in this hard, rocky sign. And Venus in retrograde is King Kun's Neptune in Pisces. So some people are going to get realistic about what their relationship is really like. Some people may be breaking up. Neptune dissolves things. Venus rules love. Also, it can be about, you got the credit card bill, you bought something you didn't need and it cost too much money. And then hard reality hits you in the face when you open that credit card statement. Venus retrograde is not a good time for making big purchases. On Monday, the word of the day is editorial. The sun in Leo is parallel Mercury in Virgo. So parallels are like conjunctions. So Mercury is in domicile and so is the sun. So they're both really strong. So this could be great energy to focus on like editing something or a writing project. It'll be interesting to see if what comes up in the collective. If you want to write an editorial to a newspaper, this is a great day to do it. You may have the clarity and the precision and the impact with your words. Someone could write something that's really, really passionate, or go back and edit something and add all of this Sun in Leo, this confident, warm, heart-centered energy to what you're talking about. The moon will enter the sign of Aquarius at 8:57 p.m. Pacific time. So Aquarius energy helps you take a step back and view things from a higher perspective. It is a fixed air sign. Its tagline is I know. So yeah, some people may be really getting into like thinking their way is the right way. And so just a reminder to consider other people's points of view. On Tuesday, the word of the day is manifest. This is the day of the full moon at 9 Aquarius, which will happen at 11:31 p.m. Pacific time. And Mars in Virgo is at the business end of the hammer of Thor. So, conflicts can get out of control, but with the Mars trine Jupiter, Mars in Virgo, Jupiter in Taurus, both at 13 degrees, this can be incredible energy to like put your plans into action and get stuff done and manifest in the real world. This is incredible concentration energy on this day. Yeah. And even Mercury opposite Saturn. Now there may be delays, especially around travel. Saturn can delay things. Saturn slows things down. Mercury in Virgo just wants to zip, zip, zip through it. But I feel like there's a lot of concentration energy. You can also think about people are going to be looking at their manifests and thinking about, oh, what are we going to do? We're not going to be able to get this, that, and the other product if UPS goes on strike. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. On Wednesday, the word of the day is contract. So maybe Mercury is parallel Uranus and Taurus. Maybe there's some surprise Uranus coming to agreement with UPS and their workers. That is possible. The moon enters Pisces at 5:15 p.m. Pacific times. Pisces is mutable waters. It is a mute sign. So after people were talking around the Aquarius full moon, maybe there's an end to some kind of conflict. That would be a wonderful thing to do. Like that hammer of Thor maybe can get people really like just hammering it all out and coming to agreement. So yeah, last week I was so sure there was going to be a strike. Now I'm thinking, yeah, maybe it's more about what's going on in Israel, or there can be multiple things. We shall see. But with Pisces energy, think about it's very creative. It's emotional. Sun in Leo, moon in Pisces. This can be like really someone could be creating something like just an incredible, beautiful painting, or any kind of artistic endeavor is really great for this. On Thursday, the word of the day is inventive. I wonder if we're going to hear news about Benjamin Netanyahu, the leader of Israel. The sun is parallel diadem, which is the crown star of royalty. It's a star related to royalty. Benjamin Netanyahu has his Mercury on this fixed star. So yeah, I wonder if he'll be giving a speech. As I'm taping this, he's in the hospital getting a pacemaker, which makes so much sense looking at his chart. His sun is at 27 degrees of Libra. So as soon as the south node went into Libra, it started moving towards his sun. And so that can be a time where your vitality sun is sapped when the south node meets it. And Neptune is in Pisces at 27, is King Kunks, his sun in Libra at 27, and his Mars in Leo at 26. So Neptune in Pisces is making a yod to his sun and his Mars. So his identity and his ability to take action. So he's in a weakened state, but maybe this will be the first day that he says something. It also, his chart is very related to this judiciary stuff. I wonder if the people will stand up so fiercely in opposition, that Mercury opposite Saturn, that they pull back, and he says he's going to pull back on what he had planned. On Friday, the word of the day is visionary. The sun is set square Neptune, so this is a hard, tense aspect. The sun is parallel the nodes. This could be something about leaders. We have a disseminating moon at 27 Pisces at 3:57 p.m. Pacific time. So that moon will hit Neptune and impact Netanyahu. Maybe he'll speak like with kindness and empathy. We'll see what happens with him, but this is great energy for creating with the hard aspect. Sun sesqui-squared Neptune, like you can really like have some kind of breakthrough with your creativity, or I just feel like this could be like you can do incredible visioning on this day. The moon enters the sign of Aries at 8:19 p.m. Pacific time. Fire cardinal energy is what Aries is. So people can be very enthusiastic, ready to have a good time. There also can be potentially conflict. So use this fire energy to be passionate and energetic and pioneering, not just argumentative. On Saturday, the word of the day is productive. Mercury and Mars are both in the craftsperson sign of Virgo. It's the chop wood, carry water sign, and they're contra-parallel. So there's an opposition, but you could use this energy to like really get stuff done, like the decluttering or the organizing or making things more efficient. Yeah, or taking action about your health could be a great thing to do on this day. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology and action stories about anything that I just talked about. Register for the New Moon Workshop or come for a reading if you want to talk one-on-one. Take care, and I will catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.